What's going on, guys? CZeroMedia here. In today's video, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of my garage, and specifically I'm gonna go over all the tools I have in my garage because my YouTube channel was built to share the knowledge of modifying, repairing and upgrading cars or bikes. And I make all these how-to videos and you guys seem to enjoy it. But I came to realize that a lot of you guys are new car owners. You guys were teenagers and now you're finally able to afford Evos and you can finally work on it yourself, but you don't have any tools. So a lot of you guys are asking me like, CZeroMedia, what kind of tools do you have? Where do I buy them? And how can I build a garage like yours so I can work on my Evo, my Subaru, my Cafe Racer? So today, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of my garage, or should I say a man cave, or even I can even say it's my office because I spend basically 95% of my time in my office in this area and in the garage. This is basically where I stay in this house. So the garage, yes, it's right next to my computer room, editing room, nice and convenient. Actually, before I show you my garage, let me show you my driveway. I'm reorganizing all my cars because I'm gonna be storing the Evo in the garage for the winter time, and my Corvette and RX-7 is gonna be parked at the shop that I used to rent so that it's not covered in snow like this. Yeah, I know, the snow came down too fast, too early, and I didn't have the time to move it. So the Z06 and the FD will be put on the trailer with my daily, and it's going to be parked at the shop. And then of course here's my Evo. It's gonna be parked right here in this garage area. But enough of the cold. I'm gonna close the garage door and give you a tour of inside the garage. Alright guys, welcome to my garage. And actually let me turn off the heater because it's kind of loud in here. This thing. Let me turn this off and I'll talk about that in a minute. So obviously because I live in Michigan, it's a little cold and it's hard to keep the garage warm in the winter time. So if you have never seen the garage build time-lapse video, I highly suggest you check that out. And the walls are all insulated by me and it's nice and toasty. So let's walk around the garage and show you guys what I have here. So here is my Red Bull flag, which came with my Red Bull fridge because I chug Red Bull all the time. It's a team I work for Formula E racing team, and MOD, Mitsubishi Owners Day. This was the last Mitsubishi Owners Day we had here in Chicago, which is about, I don't know, like 4-hour drive from where I live. I have a crawler that I got from Harbor Freight. Now you hear Harbor Freight a lot in this video. Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot and Amazon is basically what my garage is made out of. I got this on Harbor Freight for like, I don't know how much I paid, like 25 bucks. And I got a little hook from Lowe's so that it's nice and you know, clear off the floor so I don't trip on it, and so that it's not taking up unnecessary spacing. This thing is great. If you want to get a dolly, make sure you get the metal one, not the red plastic one, because that one will break and that one's horrible, and it's just not from my personal experience. My friends have the same issues. Don't get the red plastic ones. Those are garbage. Ferrari flag, I have this since like middle school. You know, I still have it because I don't know why. I'm not even like a big Ferrari fan anymore. I'm more about JDM. Stance suspension banner because Stance suspension is sponsoring my FDRX7 and I'm running the coilover. So thanks to Stance suspension, just representing my sponsor here, California. Highway 1, one of my favorite highways in the world. Isle of Man, UK. Here are a bunch of license plates I collected over the years. These are all the countries I've been to. And you know, this is just part of, I don't know how, I've been to probably 30 countries, but this is just some of the license plates from some of the countries I've been to, because some countries are very strict about getting and buying license plates, even if it's used or even if it's like 2 decades old. They don't really let you buy or own your own license plates. Alright, enough on the decorations. Let's get to the tools here. So over here on the right, I have a tool, what should I call this? Like bolt box. I have organized this from top to bottom depending on the size. So the uppermost bolts are the longest and the largest, and as it comes down, it comes down to the smallest nuts and bolts and washers. And this is great because I'm always going through nuts and bolts, especially if you're working on a car like this where everything is pretty much custom. It's, you know, you're always going back and forth to Lowe's and Home Depot. It's great for one because you can get an idea of how big and how long the bolt should be, and for two, because if it matches perfectly, you just use the bolt out of this bolt toolbox. Here I have a full face protection from Harbor Freight. So if you're using like angle grinder, you're cutting shit up, you want to make sure you protect your face. Or in case your spring compressor breaks, you want to wear something like this so you don't kill yourself. I got gas mask, 2 of these for painting with spray gun and spray paint. Pry-bars must have. I got a bunch of hammers over here, and these are all you can get from Harbor Freight. C-clamp, various sizes, 1, 2, 3, and another one here. I got scissors and a bunch of pliers in different sizes. And these pliers I got from Harbor Freight as well. They sell it as a kit. Awesome, awesome tool. And actually this metal pegboard is awesome. I mean, it looks great and it's functional. And with my small toolbox, it's great to be able to hang tools on the actual wall. It's a little more durable than your standard wooden pegboards, and it's very durable and looks awesome. So I highly suggest you get this if you wanna hang stuff on your wall. So I got here a whole bunch of wrench set from size 10 up to 26. Over here on the left, I got 3/4 to 1/8, and both these sets I got from Harbor Freight because you can get the set for like 25 bucks each, super cheap, and for the quality, which I have no complaints for, it's okay, you know. With Harbor Freight, you just gotta be careful what you buy. Like, I don't buy power tools from Harbor Freight. I wouldn't buy like a welder or compressor from Harbor Freight. But when it comes to like wrenches and pliers and stuff like hammers and all this stuff, I have no problem with Harbor Freight. Yeah, they're great. Over here, I have screwdriver set, of course, from my favorite store, Harbor Freight. I got here a drill, electric drill from DeWalt. And over here I have an impact gun, and this thing has saved me so much time. Although this one is kind of nice and expensive. I think I spent about, I can't remember, like $600, $500. It was a couple $100. It was not cheap. But if you work on your car a lot, it is amazing. You have seen me take off lug nuts of cars, trucks, and all you do is just, you know, bang, 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 and it comes out. It's like, you feel like you're pit crew at a NASCAR team or something. It's great investment if you want to work on your car all the time. This particular impact is the Milwaukee M18. If you're starting out working on your car, I wouldn't recommend getting an impact gun unless you want to get serious and unless you want to get stupid like me and work on the cars 24/7. If you're starting out and you don't want to spend a couple $100 on an impact gun, you can always get an adjustable wrench that I'm going to show you, and breaker bar, and that should get the job done. Actually, over here I forgot, I have a Mighty D lighting setup. It's like a fan that folds out. You have seen this in my Evo build videos all the time. I have 2 of these. I got this on Amazon as well. Mighty D light. You can get it for I don't know how much I pay for these, like 20 to 40 bucks, very cheap. Up here I have a Bluetooth speaker, Angle, and I can, you know, listen to my jam, listen to my reggae music as I work on my cars and stay sane. I have a 3D printed beer opener here, stuff like that. If you have a garage that's always clean, it just means you don't work on anything. No, I'm just kidding. I try to keep it as organized and as clean as possible. But right now, as you can see, I have a car completely gutted and stripped. So that's the reason why parts are kind of everywhere. If you know where things are, I guess it's organized in your head. Over here, I have a vise from, who do you know? Harbor Freight. Really cheap, works great, no issues. Never had complaints on it. Here is a power strip that I picked up from Micro Center. It's got like 10 ports on it. I have my old chargers lined up here, so it's nice and topped off all the time. I also have here a flashlight that you guys have all seen from Noco Lights. Works great. It works more like a pen light, right? So when these lights are too wide span and I want to more like a point at things and I want to lighten it up, I would use this. I also have a lot of gas tanks and oil drain pans. This was super cheap and it's really functional. I like to wear this and then wear gloves over it, like a mechanic's gloves. Keeps the inside of the mechanic gloves clean and keep my hands clean. Shop towel, of course, and then table or towels. These are actually new addition to my garage and I love this, absolutely love this. This is wet towel, so when you do get your hands dirty with oil or whatever grease you might encounter in your garage, you can wipe it off with table towels and it will mostly come off. Battery charger, so I can keep my batteries topped off. I have a couple batteries laying around left and right in my garage because obviously I have 5 cars and 5 batteries, or maybe even 6 batteries. Don't worry about this mess down here. Stance coilovers. I've seen some of you guys walking in a cold ass garage in the winter time, like kind of how it is today, but not even run a heater. You guys are crazy. I'm tropical, I'm Japanese, and I need my heater in my garage. So some of the setup I run here is a propane tank. You can get this from any gas station or like Home Depot, Lowe's has it too. I have here a Dynaglow Deluxe. It has 30,000 to 60,000 BTUs of heat that it would output. All you do is just hook it up, turn on the propane tank, and then boom, we have heat. I have here a, this is one of my favorite tools. It's a wrench, but it actually spins on the inside. Actually, let me turn off the heat because it's kind of loud. So this is one of my favorite tools here. It's a wrench, but it has the clicking head. Very nice if you have tight spaces you're walking in. If you walk on evos, actually this is a lifesaver tool. If you want to do exhaust manifold swap or also intake manifold swap, I highly recommend that you get something like this, S-wrenches. You basically get under your exhaust manifold coming from the top, and then once you're under the exhaust manifold, you want to access the bolts that's under the runners, right? It's getting blocked by the actual runners, so you can't really get to it with a regular wrench or ratchet. So what you do is grab the S wrench coming from the top and then hook it in and you can spin it. This thing is actually a lifesaver. Save me a lot of headache when I'm doing exhaust manifold swaps. I got here a bunch of gloves. This thing's awesome too. Here you have an air compressor. It just pumps air into the tire really fast, really useful, especially if you're going through tire pressures and adjusting them all the time. This is a ratchet that runs on the air compressor. It's nice when you want to get in somewhere tight and you want to remove bolts continuously really fast. You know, here walking under the hood, this is really nice and quick and easy. Now some of you have asked me this, CZero, what is that over here? That is actually a collage full of my speeding tickets and basically traffic violations. Yeah, some people wonder how I still have a license. It's because thanks to lawyers, but that's just collection of some of my speeding tickets. Yep. So let's talk about the toolbox here. This toolbox, it's not a toolbox I would recommend. It's definitely a starter toolbox. I picked it up from Harbor Freight for like, I think I paid like $200, really cheap. Don't worry about this gold tape there. But one thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't really roll out like the traditional toolbox does. So it doesn't have that nice, smooth feel to it. But other than that, it works great. It stores all my tools and it looks all right. So let's see what's in my toolbox. All right, coming from the right, I got some masks for those of the times that I'm creating dust, whether I'm sanding or if I'm getting rid of rust on some of my stuff. I got here a wire brush to get rust off of any metal. I have these attachment for drill and angle grinder, and I have that for Dremel as well for smaller projects. I got here a Dremel, solder for the soldering iron. I got flux for the soldering iron. Let's see, I got some adapters for the air hose. This here is a attachment for the angle grinder. It's like a sanding disc that rotates, and basically you can use this on metal and it will smoothen out any kind of debris that you might have on the metal. I use this all the time on the cafe racer. And also you got the cutting wheel for the angle grinder, so you can chop off metal. Multimeter, of course. I don't have anything fancy. I have this so I can figure out what kind of voltage and currents running through my projects. More additional attachments for the Dremel. And this here is a caliper, which I got from Harvey Freight for super cheap. Now, if you're building an engine or if you're doing any kind of measurements where actual exact measurements required, do not use Harbor Freight caliper. This is just one caliper that I can use to get by. I have a nice like $600 caliper at work that I can use if need be, but that will get away with most of my projects around the garage most of the time. All right, over here, zip ties. This is a must-have. X-Acto knife blades and electrical tape. Zip ties are a must. I like to get it from Amazon or like Lowe's and Home Depot. I try not to cheap out on these because sometimes you get zip ties from like Harbor Freight and it's actually very fragile, and then as you're applying zip ties it just kind of breaks in half. You don't want that. You should get quality zip ties, at least from my experience. And they have zip ties that's actually got like a metal piece inside, which is not really a zip tie, but I guess it's more of a permanent solution. But those are really nice as well if you want to get serious with zip tying. Of course, I have more zip ties. I have a pen. I have pineapple. Whole bunch of pens. I got black Sharpie, skinny black Sharpie, silver Sharpie, all kinds of Sharpies. And these are also nice. You can pick this up from Harbor Freight as a set for like $2. This. What you can use these for is actually taking off attachments for the hose. So like coolant pipes, right? You got the rubber hose coming into a metal pipe. You can take the clamp off, but sometimes it's hard to pull it off. What you do is put this tool in there between the rubber and the metal piping, and you will nice and loosen that up. If that's still not enough, you just put this straight one right in there, go around, and you'll make it nice and loose. Here I have a metal probe sink. If you drop anything in the engine bay, which happens all the time, all you do is just go down and grab it like this. Very useful, and they come in multiple sizes. That's about it. Yeah, so here's a metal probe in a smaller size. I got here red Loctite. Highly recommend it if you want your bolts to actually lock and stay locked for a long time. Good for like suspension components and stuff. And I have a pen here that's completely leaking, so that's going into the trash can. Over here on the left, more zip ties. Jesus, I have zip tie in every drawer up top. I didn't even realize. I feel like a drifter here. Jesus. Zip ties, zip ties, zip ties. So I got here a soldering iron. I got this on Amazon. Nothing fancy. 60-watt soldering iron with temperature control. It does the job. Some of them have LEDs on top so you can see what you're soldering, which is nice to have as well. Obviously more zip ties. And I got some plastic bags. This is awesome if you're taking apart stuff for quite a long time like I am, and you want to remember where nuts and bolts go. You just want to bag it up and label it so that you remember what you did with it. Over here, I organized my toolbox by the size of these ratchets. So I got here the smallest size up here. These are pretty nice too. You actually hook up the socket in here, and the handle portion is somewhat flat and small, so you can get into tight spaces. Nothing fancy in here. Down here I got 3/8 socket set, deep, shallow, 8-point Allen key sockets. What is this called? The Torx or the star keys. These are nice too. I mean, and also all these tools are from Harbor Freight, every single one of them. These actually expand in and out, which I like. So you can start small, and once you want to torque it down, you can expand it as well. And as you can see here, it has two different sizes, top and bottom. So you can use this tool for two different size sockets. people have mixed opinions on whether you should go with Harbor Freight or whether you should go with like Snap-on and nice tools. Me personally, Harbor Freight's been fine. I have broken a couple, but all you do is just bring it in and they will trade you for a new one. Here's a ratchet that's nice and spins around, so if you want to get tight space, you can do so with this. Couple extensions as well. You know, you got the long ones, small ones. Got the swivel extensions. Those come in handy too. And here I got the bad boys, the 1/2-inch ratchets. These are basically as big as they come. Some of the unique ones I have here is a ratchet where the head spins itself, so you can get some crazy angles. It just locks in like this. So that's nice to have. But other than that, nothing special here. I got the deep ones, shallow ones, kind of unorganized right now. Here I have a leftover wrench from what's not on here. These are basically wrenches that I had sitting around in my toolbox, or should I say spanner, depending on where you are. Some people call this spanner. With the Formula E racing series, a lot of people are British, and they'll always call these spanners, which I kind of find it funny. Over here I got my drill bits. I get all my drill bits from DeWalt or any of the well-known retailers. I usually get it from Amazon for pretty cheap. The reason why I don't get it from Harbor Freight is because with Harbor Freight, cutting tools seem to not work so well. It seems that whenever I buy a drill bit or anything that cuts, it seems that the material or the cutting tip isn't that great from Harbor Freight. So I actually, when it comes to drill bits and stuff like this, I actually spend money and get the quality pieces. This is an electronic torque wrench. So basically what you do is input your 1/2-inch wrench over here and then input your 1/2-inch socket, and it's a torque meter and it'll tell you how much torque you're torquing it down to. Again, I'm not sure how accurate these things are. If you want to get super accurate, if you are building, you know, internal components and stuff like that, I wouldn't recommend that you use this. But for things I do around the garage, that's sufficient. I have so many tools, I don't even know what's in here actually, I forgot. Oh, so this is a lifesaver for those of the times when you're trying to get the screw out and you know it's gonna strip. You know you don't have good enough grip and you know the head's gonna strip. This is basically a screw extraction tool. You basically put it into the bolt or screw and you hammer it down. You hammer it down and inside is a mechanism that spins around and then it will take the screw out slowly. So you are applying basically as much pressure as possible downwards into the screw or bolt, and at the same time you spinning it at the same time as well. I think I got this on Amazon as well. I can't recall if I got this from Harbor Freight, but if they have this at Harbor Freight, it'll probably work good as well. So yeah, that has saved me a couple times, especially with my CB550. Like these screws here, bolts from 1975 don't come out easily, as you could imagine. Over here I just have various tools, vice grips. This is great. This is a wire stripper, automatic wire stripper. So it basically holds onto the wires and cuts off the insulation and strips it for you. Very nice. It will save you a lot of time. Tire pressure gauge, electronic, and a whole bunch of random stuff is in here. I have here a air hammer. You have seen me use this when I was stripping the sound deadening out of the FD. And here is a torque wrench that I used to use all the time when I'm torquing down stuff. But now that I have the digital one, I don't really use this. The digital wrench is so much easier and it beeps at me when I hit the target foot-pounds of torque. And here I have a label creator. I mainly got this because I want to label all the wiring on the FD. Obviously, I'm rewiring the whole harness, and that's just what I have. Down here, let's see, I have a heat gun from Harbor Freight. Got it for like 15 bucks, works great, no complaints. I use that mainly for heat shrink tubing and making sure that the heat shrinks are shrank. A circular saw, which I mainly use for walking around my house, and here's an angle grinder, It's basically a motor with a spinning, rotating head to it. You can cut things, you can grind things, you can sand down things, all those goodies. Here I have a heavy-duty drill with a hammer function. So instead of traditional drill that would just drill in and spin, this has the hammer action. So as you're drilling, it'll go in and out without you having to move anything. This is very useful if you want to go through concrete or if you want to go through some like thick metal. Again, that's more for like walking around my house and stuff like that. So over here I have a welder. It's a MIG from Eastwood, MIG 135. I did a lot of researching on what kind of welder I should get. Obviously I want to TIG, but TIG is not that cheap. So I decided to get a MIG, and for the project that I have around the house or around the garage, MIG is just fine. It gets the job done. My cafe racer was basically completely built with this exact welder. The rear hoop, all this was welded together, and it turns out great. It's still in one piece, knock on wood. Over here I have the air compressor. This is 175 psi and 20-gallon version. It does the job. I mainly got it because I wanted to paint the FD. It did great for painting the engine bay, and I guess the capacity could be a little more than 20 gallons, but 175 psi is just enough, and it works great. So let's see. Over here is just a shelf stack of parts, paint supplies, and stuff like that. I got this from actually a GM dealership. The dealership was moving and they wanted to get rid of it, so I picked these up for like 50 bucks each. Very stable, made out of metal, and I love this thing. But only important thing I want to show you here is one, my Red Bull fridge, which isn't even plugged in because it's so cold in my garage that I don't need it refrigerated. And two is my supplies for cleaning and working on my car. Of course, you have seen this. I used this in my FD painting video, Harbor Freight spray gun. This gun was like 20 bucks and it painted this. No complaints, worked great, super awesome. So here is a whole bunch of cans, and I'm just gonna show you some of my favorites that you should get. First of all is a PB blaster. Trash your WD-40 when you're trying to remove rusty bolts. Use PB blaster on the bolts, nuts and bolts, and you will get it off. Another can you can use is a liquid wrench that will work just as well. Brake cleaners. I literally have like a case of these over here. It's great for cleaning parts. I literally have like 2 cases of them stacked up over here. I have a whole bunch of paints. Of course I have here WD-40, and use this for lubricating, not for removing bolts. I use Purple Power for cleaning a lot of parts that's greasy, like plastic pieces, under trays, stuff like that. And I have, if I can get down back here, the oil stabilizer. This I use when I'm trying to lubricate components inside the engine. So when I'm putting together the head of the FD, I'm gonna be, which is kind of funny, head of the FD, because now it's a V8. If I'm doing like new valves, springs, cams, I want to lubricate any of the mechanical contacting point, because on initial startup there's no oil in there and it might potentially wear out the components. So what you do is put oil stabilizer in between the metal contacts. In the bottom shelf here I have more, but like a cleaning supplies. I got alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Here is Goo Gone. This is great if you want to get like really sticky, like sticker type material off of your car. I have injector cleaner. This is great. Actually my Evo gets this use here and there because sometimes the injectors get clogged up in the Evo, and it like cuts out on boost when I'm boosting. And sometimes the issue is because it's clogged, and all I had to do is just putting injector cleaner in there, and that will solve the problem. Down here I have more Purple Power. Not much detailing stuff, to be honest, because obviously I'm building a race car, and I'm not too big on detailing cars. I used to be, back when I used to dating my car and back when my Evo was like a show car, I used to be big into waxing and detailing, but nowadays, not so much. I'm more of like a function guy than show guy, so not so much detailing here. That's done for heavy duty cleaning, stuff like that. But you know, this is just what I have accumulated over the years. If you have any tips or tricks, please let me know, because I am no way an expert. I don't consider myself an expert. I'm just another DIY guy who likes to work on cars. So if you have any like cleaning supplies or tools or cans or whatever, just let me know so that I can look it up and buy more shit for my garage. Here's a orbital sander with a whole bunch of sanding paper, duct tape, painter mask. So that's about it. Over here is a whole bunch of pots, and obviously because it's winter time, I have my mountain bike inside because I won't be riding. So lastly, I guess let me just show you. So I got the 3-ton jack stand. Of course it's from Harbor Freight, and this is just beer left over from my house party that I had a few weeks ago. And I have a more light duty aluminum jack. I like to put this in my car and bring it when I have track days because it's so much lighter than this heavy duty one. This 3-ton jack I highly recommend you get if you have a garage and you won't be moving the jack so much. This actually lifts up the car a little higher than this one does, and it's more stable, it's more heavy duty. And this one is more like if you live in an apartment like I used to and you work on your car here and there, not all the time, and you want it to be mobile, you want to get the aluminum version. So that's about it, I think. This is actually a new foldable creeper seat that my girlfriend got me because she knows about my life and she's nice like that. I gotta assemble this when I have chance to do so. More batteries that I need to put on my battery tender. This comes in 2 different sizes. I got like the basic one for my Evo and then a big one for working on a truck. Of course, these are also from Harbor Freight. One thing I want to tell you about Harbor Freight is that if you go Harbor Freight at checkout, make sure to type in your cell phone on Google Harbor Freight coupons, because no matter what time of the year it is, Harbor Freight has like 20 to 25% off one item, the most expensive item, and I use it every time I check out. I don't know how they do it or why they do it, but let me just tell you, Harbor Freight is already cheap, but you'll get your pricing even lower if you use this coupon. So yeah, share this knowledge with all your friends. Harbor Freight's the best. It's my favorite store. I go there all the time. Even if I don't need anything, I go in there and I come out with like 10 different components. So that's about it, guys. I think that's a good overview of my garage. If you have not seen the time-lapse video build of this garage, go check it out. I'll put the link in the video description below. If there's a tool or like a cleaning supply or some kind of anything really, any tool that I should know about, if you know about a cool tool that is super effective, super useful, definitely let me know. Send me a link, send me a picture, post it in the comment section below so I could get one and my viewers can get to know one. So thanks again for watching the video, guys. That pretty much summarizes what's in my garage, and I hope that was very helpful for those of you who are just starting out on working on cars.